Hello and welcome to Newsbreak. I'm your host, Nick Steffens. Coming up, the Washington and Mount Pleasant track teams battled it out, but first, today's top stories. The Kelowna Public Library has delayed a decision on whether to remove Maya Kababe's memoir, Genderqueer, from its shelves after receiving several more requests for its removal in the lead-up to a recent board meeting. Some complaints have called the book pornographic and obscene, arguing that children could access its 6 pages containing nudity and sexual acts. However, many patrons, particularly those from the LGBTQ community, consider the memoir an essential representation of non-binary, non-heterosexual experiences. Library Director Trevor Sherping said the library had received 7 requests for the book's removal since an initial complaint, with some containing a verbatim text, although their signatures were different. Sherping indicated that the board would consider the request at its next regular meeting after holding a work session to discuss them. While some complainants called the book's removal, others suggested that it should be available only on request. The library's book removal policy, however, opposes the notion that a book can contain harmful ideas. Former students, faculty, staff, community members, and friends gathered at Iowa Wesleyan House Student Activity Center's Social Hall on Friday to celebrate Dr. Dolores Graf Poulter Wilson's 60-year career at the school. Despite plans being made before the announcement of the university's closure, Wilson still wanted to celebrate her lifelong career and those who supported her. During the celebration, Wilson spent time sharing memoirs and laughter with the individuals in attendance. IW professor of psychology Cindy Wall-Jasper commended Wilson's resilience and ability to approach life as miraculous adventure. Wall-Jasper also noted that Wilson's positivity, generosity, and support all contributed to the impact she made during her time at Iowa Wesleyan. Wall-Jasper concluded that Wilson deserved the Homemaker of Science Award for her pursuits of knowledge and the way she managed the science department. As Wilson moves on to retirement, she plans to renovate her family farm into a retreat for individuals to enjoy the classroom of the great outdoors. County officials in Washington plan to use eminent domain authority to acquire land near Skunk River after conventional negotiations fell through. The Washington County supervisors have unanimously voted to authorize the proceedings. Washington County engineer Jacob Thoria said the land was required to access to a grading project near the McCain River landing on Dogwood Avenue in Clay Township. The case will now go to Washington County's Eminent Domain Commission, a panel of real estate professionals, farmers, property owners, and appraisal experts, where members will hear evidence from both sides and decide on a fair value for the land. The county has hired Des Moines law firm Allers & Cooney as a consultant in the case. If the property holders make an acceptable offer on the land before the case concludes, the eminent domain proceedings can be terminated. The Washington School Board has debated a policy change to allow homeschooled students to walk with their in-building peers on graduation day. Advocates for the change argue that homeschooled students bring enrollment funding to the district, participate in student life, and should have the chance to graduate with their peers. If enacted, the new rule would allow approximately 5 more seniors to join this year's ceremony. However, most board members expressed concerns that the proposed change would diminish the achievements of those who had completed more rigorous diploma requirements. The Washington Homeschool Assistant Program requires a minimum of 48 credits, while the graduation requirement for in-building students is 56 credits. The board has scheduled a special meeting on April 19th to discuss a policy change, and if approved by 5 of the 6 voting members, the policy could be enacted before this year's May 28th commencement ceremony. The Mount Pleasant Area Chamber Alliance will celebrate Small Business Week from May 1st to 5th to recognize the contributions of small businesses and entrepreneurs. Over 250 businesses in the area have less than 25 employees, collectively accounting for more than 1,200 jobs in the community and contributing over $60,000 annually to the chamber. The chamber will showcase local small businesses during the celebration, which will culminate with the announcement of the 2023 Small Business of the Year Award at the Small Business Breakfast on May 5th. The finalists for the award include Brown Shoe Fit, KLJ AM and FM Radio, Mootry Trucking LLC, Wilson Distributor Service, and Your Dream Home Furniture and Floors. The sponsors for the event include Pilot Grove Savings Bank, Allen Mitchell, and Cornerstone Building Brands. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at the weather and sports.
Protection is important, especially when you're talking about your dreams, which is why we're going to keep you covered with plans that can save you up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. That's protection.
Bring the kids and share the memories from steam engines, antique cars and trucks, tractors, gas engines, and horses. Maybe your memories are of great food from the North Village to the Log Village, or going to one of the amazing concerts. This is the place where memories are made. Make plans now to enjoy the history of the past at the 2023 Midwest Old Thrashers Reunion, August 31st through September 4th in Mount Pleasant. Visit oldthrashers.com for more details. Welcome back to Newsbreak. I'm your host, Nick Steffens. We have your 5-day forecast coming up, but first, obituaries. Mary Elizabeth Grimes of Fairfield passed away on January 2nd at the age of 90. A celebration of life will be held at 11 a.m. April 21st at the First United Methodist Church. Benner Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. Marjoline Ann Marshall of Burlington passed away on April 14th at the age of 95. A funeral mass will be held at 10:30 a.m. April 20th at St. Mary's Catholic Church in West Burlington. Lunning Funeral Chapel is in charge of the arrangements. Stephen V. Burke of Denmark passed away on April 14th at the age of 74. A massive Christian burial will be held at 10:30 a.m. April 18th at St. Mary's and Joseph Catholic Church in Holy Family Parish. Schmidt's Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. Donna Marie Adams, formerly of Fairfield, passed away on April 14th at the age of 83. Funeral services will be held at 11 a.m. April 18th at Langcamp Funeral Chapel. Janet Lee Simmons of New London passed away on April 13th at the age of 88. A celebration of life will be held at a later date. Murphy Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. David Michael Hennessy of Mount Pleasant passed away on April 5th at the age of 85. A funeral service will be held at 10 a.m. April 21st at the First Baptist Church. Olson Powell Memorial Chapel is in charge of the arrangements. Mona Tompkin Paul of Washington passed away on April 11th at the age of 91. A visitation will be held from 1 to 3 p.m. April 23rd at the Halcyon House. The Jones and Eden Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. That was obituaries. It is now time for your 5-day forecast. Today, the weather has been nice with a high of 66 and mostly sunny skies. Tomorrow, it will be warmer with a high of 73, but it will be cloudy. Temperatures will fall back down to 66 degrees on Thursday, and there's a 75% chance of thunderstorms. On Friday, temperatures will continue to fall down to 58, and it'll be mostly cloudy. Finally, on Saturday, it will be the coldest day of the week at 47 degrees, and it will be mostly cloudy. We're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at sports.
Unbelievable amount of devastation. I've never seen anything like it.
We had a beautiful barn that was gone in 20 minutes.
Farm Bureau stepped up right away and said, hey, we got you and we'll be there for you.
We were taken care of. Now we could get on to repairing and rebuilding.
I tell everybody about Farm Bureau.
We're fortunate to say we have good coverage with good people doing it.
Contact Farm Bureau agents Tony Starr and Mike Welcher in Mount Pleasant today.
Welcome back to Newsbreak. I'm your host, Nick Steffens. It is now time for sports. The 2023 Denny White Relays saw a plethora of Union area athletes prevail in a packed co-ed meet at Maple Leaf Athletic Complex on Thursday, but in the end, just one team took home a team title. That team was the Mount Pleasant girls, which had an absolute battle to the bitter end with Clear Creek Amana. The Panthers scored 184 points on the day to nip the Clippers by 1. On the boys' side, Washington edged Mount Pleasant 114 to 113 to finish 3rd and 4th, respectively, in Class A. The Mount Pleasant girls had a huge night in the sprints, winning all 3 of them. Andy Scott swept the 100-meter dash and 200-meter dash. Elsie Lang finished first in the 400-meter dash. Mount Pleasant had 2 winners in the field. Josie Gilmore took the high jump, and Savannah Slobodnik continued her early year tear by winning the discus throw. Mount Pleasant had 2 relay winners in the girls' competition. The 4x200 teams of Courtney Robb, Bailey Jalis, Tristan Scholl, and Andy Scott won in the distance medley quartet of Olivia McCormick, Alex Scott, Meadow Carter, and Abby Carthy. The Class A boys competition saw Washington and Mount Pleasant each pull off 3 wins as they competed for 3rd place on the night. The Demons had a winner in Braden Hartman, who took the discus throw. Washington had 2 relay wins. The 4x800 squad of Logan McDoyle, Drew Horak, Micah Reese, and Andrew Reese won in the Shuttle Huddle relay team of Taven Stewart, Mason Morgan, Aiden Ulan, and Austin Riebling also won. Washington's Josh Anderson was a lone wolf in the wheelchair events. He took first in the 100 meters, the 200 meters, and then crossed first in the 400 meters. Mount Pleasant had 2 wins in the field to anchor its day. Avon Trung finished first in the long jump, and Isaac Gerald was top in the shot put. That's the news for Southeast Iowa. I've been your host, Nick Steffens. This has been your news break. and I will see you next time.